Hello, guys. This is Dr. Dheeraj Masapu. I'm an anesthesiologist specialized in neuroanesthesiology. I got several requests about what is the scope of transplant anesthesia after MD and DNB anesthesia. So I actually interviewed Dr. Vijay Challa, who is the head of transplant anesthesia in a big corporate hospital in India, and we have discussed several areas like what is the scope of job opportunities after doing your DM and DNB in transplant anesthesia, and also areas we discussed like what will be the scope for women if they're taking up transplant anesthesia, which was one of the requests I got in Instagram. And also we discussed how many years will it take for a person to become an independent consultant after doing a DM or DNB in transplant anesthesia, and what are the job opportunities in India. So these are the areas which have been discussed here, and he has answered with his experience. And also we discussed how a typical day will look like in his life. So let's dive into the Hello, Dr. Vijay. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Thank you. Thank you.
So today, welcome to our channel, and today we are going to, discuss about the scope of transplant anesthesia. We have Dr. Vijay, who is the head of transplant anesthesia in a big center in India. So we are going to ask him certain questions which the audience have requested. So the first question would be, so why did you choose transplant anesthesia as a career, Dr. Vijay?
Initially, after completing my MD, I joined a hospital called Global Hospital at Lagadi. Okay.
Okay.
So, incidentally, I started learning transplants, anesthesia for transplants and doing transplants and staying in them and getting used to them.
Okay.
So, I felt transplant is challenging mainly because transplants will help you will keep you engaged all the time. So it's not just about the vitals. You have to have a check on the labs. You have to have a check on the clotting status. You have to keep a check on the what is it, acid base status, the ABG status. Okay, then the coagulation, then temperature, then the heart, then the cardiac output. So there are multiple issues on matter. Okay, so I found it very fascinating. So I thought I'll continue pursuing transplants and uh, transplants continuous if you keep doing it'll every transplant is a new experience and you'll keep learning more and more and each transplant will teach you something new.
Got it.
Yeah, so that's why I thought I'll continue in this.
Got it. So next would be, see, many people now there is a DN program, DNB, there are fellowships in India. There's so many courses available in India.
Got it.
So,
Transplants, the main thing with transplant is ఇప్పుడు when I was doing transplants was only the transplant course was given only by a few institutes all over India.
yeah.
Maybe 2-3 years after I actually got into this transplants anesthesia thing. Appudu there were centers like Medanta, centers like Amrita, very big centers where they started doing transplants. So the centers where you do transplant do matter. Endukante the more the number of transplants you do, the more your mind gets automatically tuned to how to manage and what to manage and um, how better you can manage, as well as big centers will also help you in following up the post-op management, the ICU support, how it is, how do you manage a patient in the ICU preoperatively, be it a pre-op sick patient coming with an acute failure or a post-operative patient coming post-transplant, how do you have to look at him, what what is the best that you can do to him. It's important if you do in a big center in transplants. Once you do in a big center, you can start working. You can start working in water setup it is, but you have to be in touch with transplants. And you have to be in a center where they keep doing transplants continuously, and you will not lose touch.
But that is a problem actually. Many centers transplants don't happen. So
Now, ఇప్పుడు the horizon for transplants actually has gone up very much అన్నమాట. ఎందుకు అంటే the donations have gone up in India significantly. Then donor pool also has gone up. Like who can donate their organs also. The criteria has changed. Okay, so and the patients getting listed for transplants have gone up. Um, and the acceptance of marginal organs also has gone up. So the even though the centers are opening multifold, uh, you you start a career in a setup decent enough which does 3 to 4 transplants a month.
Okay,
Okay,
okay. So
అట్లా
3
స్టార్ట్
to 4
చేసి
is considered a good number actually, right? No?
yeah, 3 to 4 is a good number. Three
Okay.
to four if you do, it's like doing weekly one transplant.
Yeah. Got it. Got it. Weekly
So
one transplant if you do, then that is a good number during the training and even to
for
continue
a,
the
for a
career.
guy who's just completed his DNB or MD or a fellowship or anything,
Okay.
3 to 4 transplants a month. If you complete, then if you do a month every month, then it'll not make you lose all what you have learned previously in the course. And secondly, it'll also help you teaching it with every case how to improve yourself on it.
So after
Okay.
finishing, yeah, got it.
After
Please.
finish, yeah. So after finishing your fellowship or DNB or anything, you make sure you join at a place where you have a senior to guide you.
Okay.
Okay. Most of the time, most of the present generation elante, they're very కొంచెం short tempered in career wise. So
Yeah.
they want to aim too high and they want to jump too high too early. I mean, 3 years చేశాను DM ఇంకా I can manage on my own అని అనిపిస్తుంది. We
Yeah.
feel that way, but doing under an experienced person uh, and doing it the right way, I mean it helps you long term.
How many
So
years you think they should work under somebody after DM or DNB?
at least you have to be patient. Don't think about the salary numbers initially. Okay, I mean, of course, because of inflation and all, the salary expectations have gone up
Yeah.
tremendously. But I would advise them not to think about salary too much. 3 to 4 years at least under a person is decent. Then you can jump to being Atlanta. If there are two people ahead of you, make sure that at least only one is ahead of you after 3 years.
Okay.
Then so that you can lead the transplant program after 6 to 7 years on your own.
So basically, it will take around 6 to 7 years to lead a transplant program.
So yes, చేస్తే you will end up being a good transplant anesthetist.
Okay, got it. I understood. So what about women in the field? Like, is it difficult for women because odd hours and all will be there? That's what I heard. I actually don't know.
Women is more of a personal choice, how they want to take their life and how they want to choose their career. Transplants, they, they are all, if you once you take fellowship or once you take a DM course in transplants, you should already you have made up your mind that you have to work for long hours, you have to slog for long hours. And
Yeah.
women ki main issue ఏంటంటే
Odd
kids and
hours.
family kids
Yeah.
and family can become an issue. Family, if the family is supportive, I mean, I don't think it should be a problem for women too in the present scenario. After you do 3 years of DM, I mean, obviously you would want to pursue the same thing throughout your life, kada.
Yeah.
So yeah, so కొంచెం even if they take the time off for kids and all, they can come back immediately and uh, they can make sure that they can do a good job in transplants. And working at odd hours antara DM, I mean, during their DM course and DNB course appude they'll already know that their mind is already tuned to working in odd hours.
Correct, but
Okay,
that
so
time
that
they will
won't
be
be.
unmarried, but after that they'll marry and family will form.
Yeah, and I mean, married or unmarried, కోర్స్ అయిపోయినాక ఆల్రెడీ మైండ్ ఫిక్స్ అయిపోతుంది, ఇలా వర్క్ చేయాలి, ఇలానే వర్క్ చేయాలి, ఇంతే ఉంటుందని.
Yeah.
సో ఐ డోంట్ థింక్ కిడ్స్ వల్ల కొంచెం ఆఫ్ ట్రాక్ అవ్వచ్చు ఫర్ ఉమెన్, బట్
Okay.
usually they'll take a 6 to 7 month break for kids and all. So after that, if they immediately get back in touch with transplants, I don't think there'll be an issue.
Got it. In a bigger teams, maybe it is easier, I think.
In a bigger team, teamwork is important for transplant, especially when you are new into the program. Okay. you join newly and you don't have much support, it'll be tough for you because you will not be you can't be flexible with your times, as well as you have to be on your toes through the transplant and even in the ICU post op. So yeah, that's a very it's a very dedicating and it'll be more didactic if you don't work in a bigger team.
So the commitment levels are higher compared to the general anesthesia and other anesthesias, I feel, in transplant.
Yeah. Transplants, because the scenario changes very fast in transplant. Like suppose if you take a liver transplant, there'll be steps where the surgeon has to mobilize the liver from the inferior vena cava. So if there's small dent in the inferior vena cava, that can cause an air embolism, that can cause sudden blood loss. Okay, so you can't trust too much in a transplant.
Got it. So got it. You need to be a little, expert
Focused.
in focused
and
in emergencies also should be well versed with.
Yeah.
How will your day will be a typical day when a transplant is there as a
transplant? For transplant, sir, yeah, the day is almost given a money that you have to sacrifice it that day, because the donor, if it starts around 5:36 in the morning,
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock you win in the donor, usually the living donor. 6 o'clock you don't win, then you line them and you induce them. Then they open the liver, then they mobilize it. After they mobilize it, then they'll take the recipient. Then you again put the lines for recipient. Again you settle the recipient. That'll take an hour at least. Then again they'll induce. Donor, approximately it'll take 6 to 7 hours.
Okay.
And the recipient will take around 12 hours. I'm going to approximate.
So night
almost 7:30, 8 key. Mostly you should wheel into the patient into the ICU.
Yeah, but when will you go home? That is the
mostly I do stay back on the day of the transplant.
Okay. So
okay. Yeah. So even if we go home, మన mind లో EABG లో what's the lactate status, EABG what is the status of the oxygenation, what are the labs. So all these things will be going in your mind. So better if you stay near the patient on that day, settle him, and the next day you go home. That'll be peaceful for you as well as for surgeon, as well as for the ICU team too.
Got it. So, but being a head is actually disproportionately more stressful, I feel, than the team members. That is true.
Yeah, responsibility. The more responsibility you take, the more headaches you have. with any program, with any profession, if you be a surgeon, anesthetist, or any profession, the higher you go, the more stress you have to endure.
Yeah. So thank you. So if a person finishes a DM from ILBS or some other institute, they will still be considered as a junior only, even if they join your team. So correct, right? So how much should be the initial salary that they can expect? Roughly around something.
Salary only I will message you on WhatsApp rather than just
open talking. Yeah, sure. We will do like that. But even after finishing DM, they will be considered like a junior in the team. That is what you're trying to tell.
And they will be given a consultant post. No doubt. They will not be given a junior consultant. They'll be given a consultant post only. But they will be under the HOD.
Yeah.
Okay. Or they will be under two people, two senior guys. That's the usual protocol.
So they have to prove themselves for at least 2-3 years.
They have to prove themselves, and prove. First, there are two main things in transplant. You have to be sincere and you have to be hardworking.
Okay.
DNB itself will give you the skills, and that will give you, the tenacity to manage a transplant reasonably well. But sincere and hardworking, that will add to your CV.
Got it. So right now in Bangalore, where I am working, if I see there are maybe 2-3 centers doing good transplant work. The rest of the centers are actually not doing so many cases. Like that in Hyderabad, if you take, it's Ashwada and KIMS, and like 2-3 centers will come up. That's it.
Yeah.
So in future, I think the number of centers might go up. That is what you are trying to
the number of centers will go up because the number of surgeons are going up, the number of hospitals taking transplant program is going up. Okay, so the requirement for transplant anesthesia guys will go up. Okay, so one
Job
should not lose
security wise,
one should not lose cool that I'm not doing in transplants. నాకు నేను అనుకున్నట్టు రావట్లేదు అండ్ నేను అనుకున్న హాస్పిటల్ రావట్లేదు అని యూ షుడ్ నాట్ లూజ్ హోప్ బికాస్ ఇట్స్ అ లాంగ్ వే టు గో. ఓకే, మేబీ వన్స్ యూ కంప్లీట్ యువర్ డిఎం యూ బి 34 ఉంటారు కదా, 35. You expect to lead a program maybe in 40s, early 40s or late 40s, depending upon the institute you go. The bigger institute you want to go, the more you have to wait.
Got it. Understood. So actually, after finishing DM, there are two opportunities usually people are getting. One is a busy center with lesser salary. Another is a center which does 1 or 2 cases, but salary is more. Which one should they prefer according to you?
I would advise them to go for a busy center initially for at least 2-3 years. Okay. That will be, I mean, salary is important, but the more patient they are regarding this, it will fetch them more. It will fetch them more later in their life.
In the longer run, I think they have to invest their initial part of the years. So thank you, Dr. Vijay. Anything else you want to conclude and add to the audience? All the audience are MD general anesthesia people actually.
Okay. I mean, I would like to tell only one thing. You have to be patient, Ante.
Okay, got it.
You have to be patient and you have to be passionate.
Okay, thank you very much for coming into the channel. This video will surely help many guys who wants to actually take up transplant as a career. And
sure.
Thank you very much for coming into the channel.
Thank you.
So hope you guys like the interview, and if you want to connect to me, Instagram is the location. Masapu Dheeraj is my ID in Instagram. You can put in your comments and I will do those videos. That is how I'm connecting to multiple MD anesthesia people. That's it guys for today. And as usual, Dr. Dheeraj Masapu logging off. Roger that.